Hello everyone, Hector Mendoza here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to improve your photos by using tools like Path, Selection, Selective Color, Color Picker, Color Balance, and Curves. These are just a fraction of the tools available to you in Photopea. I will make another video on how to use the Path tool. There are several tricks that can make your experience easier. If you notice, I have a before and then I have an after photo. So in this video, it was kind of washed out. The grass was, it was dying, so I kind of turned it green. The bushes were also dying because it was, winter was upon us. I made them green. Because of the clouds, my bricks were real dull, and this is actual the color of my bricks. And then if you notice this bricks here, they look washed out. That's because of, like I said, the clouds changed the colors of everything. So, if you were going to sell this house, you probably would want a photo like this rather than this. And I'm going to show you how I achieve this photo. There are several tools that you can use to make selections. One tool in particular that I like is this pen tool right here. So if you go to paths, now if you don't have paths down here, so let's close paths. If you go to Windows and go down to paths, then you'll have paths there equally with layers. So I have a bunch of them already created. So if I click on brick, you notice that all my bricks, there's a drawing around them. Same thing with my grass. You see? Clouds. The clouds are kind of hard for you to see, but my yard brick, like this one and this one here, my yard bushes, my roof, and then my entryway here. So on another video I will show you how to draw them. You know what, for this video, just so that you can see how to use the tool, and I'm just going to briefly use the tool. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to enlarge this area right in here, and I'm going to draw me a path around here, right? So look, if you got a path, you see right here, you can click on new and it creates one. And I'm just gonna put delete because actually, you know what, I'll just put a new, I'll just call it new layer. So remember, you can click on the tool here, or you can just hit P and it selects it. So one thing on your path, there's certain things you can do. You can make shapes, paths, selection, shape, and unite. But you see this tool settings that I have here? This is the settings you want to use, just like you see it here. Now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to click here, and then I'm going to, for some reason my machine's working slow. There must be something going on in the background. So I'm going to click and drag. I'm going to go right in here, click and drag. Right here, I'm going to click and drag. Okay, now, so I don't like how far I went there. So if I hit my control key, I can move this down a little bit, and then I can just click and click here. Here I'm going to click and drag, and as I click and drag, you see how it makes the curve for me. And I'm going to explain that on this other video that I'm going to create. So I'm going to click. Now I'm just going to do some real quick clicks so I can show you how to close it. So I'm going to click, 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 and then I'm going to click and drag, and now look at my mouse. You see how it has a little circle at the end of it that tells you that that closes that one path, and now that completes that that path. This path is edible. So watch this. Everything looks pretty good, except look in this area right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to enlarge there. I'm going to hold my control key, and I'm able to grab some of this pointers paths. Now watch this. If I don't want my what I'm about to do affect the top part, and I just want it to affect the bottom part, I would hit the Alt key. But at this point, I'm going to hit the control key so I can just move this, both of them at the same time. Now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit the control key, and then I'm going to move this over down here. See right in here, I don't like it, it's too far, so I'm going to hit the control key, and then I just move that. So this is just a brief outline on how to use it. Now I'm going to show you what I do with this kind of paths. Alright, so now that I have created those paths, let me show you how I use these paths. So if I click on any of the paths, for instance, I'm going to click on the brick path. If you notice on the right hand side, there's 2, 4, 5, 6 tools. If I click on the third one, it's my selection tool. You see right now, you see how everything looks blue right in here around the bricks. If I click here, you're going to see it has a selection. Now what we're going to do here, there's a bunch of ways of doing this. So we're just going to go to image, we're going to go to adjust, we're going to go to selective color. On selective color, let me move this over to the right so that you can see what happens. Look at my bricks inside my house. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to select minus, let's say 100, and I'm going to hit tab. You see how it changed the color? This right here will allow you to preview or not preview. So you see how, and that's more true to the color of that house. So now, and you want to hit OK. So now the next thing I want to do is change my my clouds. So if I click on clouds, make a selection. You always want to go to your layers, because sometimes I use a lot of layers. So you want to make sure you have that particular layer that you want to do changes to. So if I hit my Control M for curves, I'm gonna go in here and just make a quick little, if I left click on this line here, left click here and move it over, see I'm lightening my clouds a little bit. I don't want to go too drastic, but I just want to brighten it up a little bit. And when you create a curve like this, it gives you a contrast look. I'm gonna hit OK. Now let's go back to the paths, and this time let's go to our grass. Okay, so if I click on grass, you see it selected my grass. I'm going to tell it to select the grass. For my grass, what I'm going to do is I will use curves. Okay, so if I go in, let me think here. Let's go to Control B, okay, and we're going to use color balance. Like I said, there's a bunch of ways of doing this, and I never use the same thing over and over. You'll just have to learn from your experiences. Okay, so for my cyan, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go minus, let's say 40, and that might be too green. It is too green, so let's go minus 30, and let's hit tab. Now it's a little bit better. Let me see what minus 20 will do. Nah, I like minus 30. Okay, so minus 3, 0. Okay, so remember, this just selected the grass, but look at my brushes. So let's go ahead and hit OK. Let's go to my yard brushes. That's what I named that selection. So we're going to hit the selection tool. I am going to hit the same thing, Control B. And I'm going to try the same numbers. What I think it was minus 30. Yeah, that looks okay. So we're going to hit OK. Now that takes care of our brushes. So you see the roof? That roof, you see how washed out it looks? That's a black roof. And anybody that's in the construction business and if you buy and sell homes, you know that if it looks like that, it's an old roof. I know it's not, because it was replaced like 6 months prior to me selling the home. So I'm gonna go to my roof, click on the roof. I'm gonna tell it selection, and here I'm gonna go to curves by hitting Control M. And I am going to enhance it. I'm going to do the same thing I did to the, you see how dark it looks now? It's not just dark, but it also has a contrasted look. So we're going to hit OK. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do something different here for this bricks here, just to show you what you can do with all the tools that we have available to us. So for this area, we're gonna have to get a little creative. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to my layers. I'm gonna create a new layer by clicking here, and on this layer I want, you see right here where it says normal, what I want, I really need to say soft, I think it's, yeah, soft to light. Okay, now one thing we got to do is make sure that we are on, no, yeah, for right now, okay, for right now we got to be on this layer. I am going to pick, I'm going to try to get this bricks to look like this. So what I want to do first is I'm going to enlarge this area. I want to pick one of the colors there. Now, you know, it's kind of hard to pick exactly the right color. So right here, oops, right here is my picker. And I'm going to pick a medium one. So look right here. When I click here, it changed that color, right? I didn't like that color. I want a lighter one. I'm going to pick this one. Okay, so now let me hit Control 0. I'm gonna go here to the this layer that I created, and what I'm gonna do is load that selection. So let's go to paths, and those are my yard bricks. Now you see them selected, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this selection so that when I color the foreground, that it is going to be only in that area. So now what I need to do is go to my layers. While I have that selection, I'm going to click on layers. You see this tool right here, this brush tool? If I click here, you can probably barely see it, but look right here on my sidewalk. There's this little real tiny little circle. If I hit my open brackets, that circle starts becoming bigger, right? That means that my tool is enlarging. Now that I have it the size I want, I'm going to click right in here. Look what's happening. Okay, and now it's changing that color, and look to the left, because I'm brushing in that area, and because I have that selection, it's only gonna fill that part. Let me show you what it really looks like, what I just did. I'm gonna turn off my background level. That's what you're looking at. But with all the filters that I'm using, I was able to kind of achieve this color to this color. Now, if I don't like that color, I can click here and let's change it a little redder. So let's click here, let's hit OK, and we're going to do the same thing. And now look. So you can play around with it until you achieve the color that you want. Now that is too bright. Now if it's too bright, you can go in here into your opacity, and we could go in and reduce the opacity. And now you see it's starting to look a little more like that other color. So another thing is when you have a selection and you want to hide the selection, you can hit Control H. So we got it on the background. So if you hit Control H, you see the selection, it hides, and I'm hitting Control H off and on. Another thing, if you wanted to deselect the selection, you hit Control D and it deselects it. You see right in this area here, my entry door and the siding around there, around the door. I kind of want to enhance it a little bit. Fortunately, I have a path for that. So if I go into my entry door, make my selection, hit Control M for my curves. Here, I want to make sure yeah, that's why I didn't do that. Okay, hit Control M. Then I'm just going to hit auto. Look what happens right in here when I click on auto. See? And so that kind of brings it up a little bit. We're going to hit OK. Another thing. Now look, there's a selection, right? If I hit Control H, that will hide my selection. But the selection is still selected. So if I hit Control H, it shows you the selection again. Now if you want to completely deselect it, you just hit Control D and then it will deselect. So there's one more thing that you can't see here, but there's an actual chimney, but because of where I was at and when I took the photo, it's hidden back there. If you were about to sell a house, you might want to be able to show them that there's a chimney. So watch what I'm going to do. First of all, I'm going to hit my Alt key, bring my mouse to this area, and as I move my mouse up, if you hit the Control key and go up, it enlarges that area. While I'm on my background, which this is the background, is the image, right? I'm going to hit P for pen tool, and I'm just going to roughly, I'm not going to get real accurate. Watch, I'm just going to click, my mouse is acting real weird because of everything that I got going on with this computer. Normally this is real fast. It doesn't bounce around like this. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to close it. Okay, I'm going to go to my path. I want to make sure it's a selection. I'm going to go to make sure that it's still, the background is selected. I'm going to hit Control C. Okay, now first of all, I want to deselect that path. I want to deselect that selection by hitting Control D for deselection. Let's deselect that path. I want to hit Control 0. I'm going to hit Control V. What happened? Okay, so it didn't copy my what I wanted. It copied that path here. Let's hit Control V. It's selecting that path. Okay, so let's start all over. Go to my path, make a selection. Okay, I'm going to hit Control C for my my image. I'm gonna hit Control 0. I am gonna make sure that my path is not selected. Okay, my layer. I'm gonna click down here, hit Control V, and what it did was it copied right where it was at. Okay, and it actually, I had another thing selected, but it's gonna go away. So watch. You see right in here, this is the area that I want my my chimney. So I'm just gonna lay it down there for right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna enlarge to this area here, okay, and I'm gonna set him right there. I just want a little bit of it showing. So I gotta erase. Here, let me move it just here down. Okay, I want to erase from here to here. You got to make sure that you're under the right selection. Then we have an erase tool. So let me see that right here. You see where it says erase tool? It's the E. If I click here, same thing. You see that round? I can make that circle bigger by going in and hitting my my close bracket. Now I am going to start from right here where my fascia and my roof is. I'm going to left click. I'm going to hold my shift key. I'm going to go to this other side, and then I'm just going to left click, and you see how it drew a straight line. Now I can go in here and remove the rest of that chimney. By the way, there's a hundreds other ways to doing this. Now if I hit Control 0, now they can see that there's a chimney in there. But you know what? Let's do something even better. You see, it looks like the chimney is falling down, right? So watch. Let me hit my space bar. That way I can move my canvas. I'm going to straighten that chimney. You see, you can see that it's at an angle. So while you're at that layer, if you hit Control Alt T, it gives you this thing that you can rotate. You see how I'm rotating it? And what I can do is I can go down here so that I can align it to this. That way I know it's aligned to the house. Okay, so now that I have that aligned, I just go down here and then put it down here. I think it's more like right in here. So I'm going to hit Enter, and while we have this selected, I'm going to kind of improve it a little bit by left clicking right here, hold my shift key and go right here and erase it, hit Control 0. Now if you were looking, that's what that house would look like. You know, there's a chimney back there. So that's the end of this video. If you want to learn how to use the pen tool, watch my other video. The description will be almost just like this one, because there's a lot of tricks that I can show you. Now let me show you the difference between this photo and the other one. So let's hit Control 0. I'm going to hit V. I like that tool. I use that tool a lot. So now, unfortunately, as far as I know, Photopea doesn't give you the option like Photoshop where you can have two images laying next to each other. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to Image. I'm going to go to Image Size. Oh, excuse me, Canvas. Image, Canvas Size. Then instead of pixels, I want to pick inches. What I want to do is this image here, I want to move it to the right. And I'm going to put another image exactly that same size on the left. So I need to add this times 2 with 112. And then I'm going to hit OK. look what happens. It gave me a canvas size to the left. I'm going to go hit Control O for open. I'm going to open up the original. So I'm going to click and hit open. Now you see two of them side by side. I'm going to hit Control A. I'm going to hit Control C. I'm going to go to this one here, this window. I'm going to hit Control V. And I'm just going to move this over to the left. And now you can see the before and after. So this image would be easier to the eye, especially if you want to sell the house, than this one here. That's all I wanted to show you guys. Thank you for watching my video. Watch my other video. You'll like the tricks on that pen tool.